Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Mr. Crabbe, thank you for coming to Bermuda. Obviously, the Department of Youth and Sport wanted to bring in someone who, with some experience in the professional world and now turning their attention to coaching. But what message do you bring to these coaches, and how do you deliver that where they get the best out of it?
You know, I think it's important for us to always remind coaches that the role that they play in society extends well beyond just athletic development. We know that sports as a whole has a great way of creating culture, creating an environment that is conducive towards helping young individuals become contributing members to society. And we really believe that youth sports is a chance to be a development zone to create great people.
Now, you've played in the Professional Baseball League. What does it take to get to that level?
You know, it's a number of things. One of the things is to have a great support staff. As a young kid growing up, I was very fortunate, even though I didn't grow up with a whole lot, growing up in public housing in the Virgin Islands. I had a great family. I had a great group of people that were able to give me the things that I needed, love, to give me potentially equipment, really just to give me the steady attack, the positive mindset to believe that my dreams can come true. And so I think family support, the whole community of Bermuda is a great way. If they can get behind young athletes and help them work towards their goals, is how you can make a challenging task like making it to the major leagues come true.
Now, you're in the coaching field now. What message do you bring to other coaches? Because being a professional athlete, you've sat in a locker room where not all the time it's been a positive conversation. So how do you then mold these coaches in Bermuda to make sure that those type of things cease and we move in a positive direction to get the best out of the athlete?
Well, you know, I see it kind of a two-part issue. I believe, as a former professional athlete, I had to come to the realization that one day I would no longer be playing that sport. As difficult as it was for me to understand that, I tried my best to remember that baseball would give me an opportunity to be successful in life. And also, in terms of having a positive experience while I was playing, I was very fortunate. I was around some extremely good players. Greg Maddox is one that comes to mind, Trevor Hoffman, Tony Clark, who's not the director of the Players Association. And I realized right then that it's really about connection. It's really about really trying to understand the individual and get to know people so that maybe one day you can share those same experiences with others and that can help them move on. So my experience as a professional was good. I did have one or two bad ones, but for the most part, I really can't complain.
Now, playing a sport that you love, and coming from British Virgin Islands, but playing a sport that you love in front of thousands of people, remember the first time you stepped onto the field and what that feeling was like?
Definitely remember the first time that I stepped onto the field. Even the minor league game, the first minor league game that I had, it was in Idaho Falls, Idaho, and I remember feeling like I'd accomplished something, but with the understanding that I still had a long ways to go if I wanted to reach my ultimate goal of making it to the major leagues. And as I fast forwarded 6 years to making my major league debut in San Diego, having my parents in the stands was one of those experiences that I probably will never forget. Because when you're a young boy growing up, especially coming from a small island, you have a lot of people that you believe they're on your backs, right? You wanna get them to experience something much bigger than just what I was doing. It wasn't just about Callix. It really was about a whole culture, a whole island, so that we could motivate kids behind me and give them the feeling like that they can accomplish something that might seem somewhat impossible.
We now have a young man who was drafted by the Baltimore Orioles in Adam Hall this year, and he's in the minor leagues. So obviously people want to see him in the majors, but I just heard you say it took you 6 years. It's a process that they take you through, isn't it?
Very much so. And one of the things that people need to understand about the process is sometimes there's going to be some really nice ups and there's going to be some pullback, right? There's going to be some falling back, but that's very much a part of it. Is you get to learn a lot through results, but you also get to learn a lot through some of your failures as well. And it's not always consistent, right? But as long as that young man in his position, if he can just set some goals and keep his mind fixated on those goals and really try not to take no for an answer. there's no question that he can attain his dreams. The biggest thing is get around people that support his visions as well. Because in the minor leagues, it can be challenging. It's a very competitive environment. You're playing against people that potentially is trying to take your job. And so for him, he just needs to keep his eye on the prize and really don't worry about others around him. And I don't mean it in a negative way. I literally mean focus on what his goals are. And there's no question that he can make it become a reality. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. If I can do it, you can do it.
Well, we want to thank you for coming to Bermuda. Hopefully you come back very soon.
I hope to come back soon as well. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Audio Jungle.